at Elasto Proxy, and we're joined here today with Justin Gosnell, our marketing coordinator. Good afternoon, Mr. Justin.
Hello, Rob. Thanks for having me on.
How's it going, my friend?
It's going good, going good. Looking forward to the discussion today. Talk a bit about electrification, the EV side of things.
Yeah, we're looking at the electrification in the defense and security industry, and we want to see what the recent initiatives were within that industry, especially that there's been a huge push in electrification, not only in the personal vehicle, but in most of the equipment, heavy equipment manufacturers are trying to go there, but also the defense and security are trying to go towards the electrification of their vehicles. Correct, Justin?
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of it these days.
Absolutely. And um, one of the things that one of the fun facts, I guess you can say that you were talking to me about was the amount of fuel that an armored division could be consuming on a daily basis, which could go up to 500,000 gallons of fuel a day, which is insane. And um, is that why the defense and military industry is moving towards EV? Is that one of the reasons?
Yes, yes. So as we just were talking about, there's a huge fuel consumption in the military with the heavy equipment vehicles as well. So we're starting to see a lot more of the military vehicles are starting to switch over and go towards more of a hybrid-based system. We're seeing more and more electrification as well with smaller tanks and smaller vehicles within the defense industry. So um, however, the big challenge right now is for manufacturers. They're asking, how can we still bring a ton of power, but with a safer and a more of a quiet approach? So the answer ultimately lies within electrification.
So talk to us about some of the benefits for electric defense and military vehicles.
So there's a ton of benefits out there right now, but I would say the three big ones, the three big benefits that we're seeing right now. The first one would be decreasing the amount of fuel. There's a huge benefit to going EV. It would significantly drive down the amount of fuel required to go from an operating base to a front line where there's battles happening. So there's a lot of fuel that's required to move those military vehicles from point A to point B, and a ton of cargo trucks as well, fuel transport trucks to keep those vehicles moving to their objective. So that's one of the benefits is just cutting back on fuel. The second benefit that I would say is very big is we're seeing electrical and hybrid systems are also known to be easier to upgrade compared to all of the mechanical components of just a internal combustion engine or a combustion engine. So we're seeing it's easier to do some retrofitting with the electrical components rather than the mechanical components. So that's a huge plus. A vehicle breaks down on the field. You want to get that thing into the shop and back into the field as quick as possible. So the faster you can do that, the quicker your operations are, which is good. And the third benefit we're seeing is that electric drive systems are known to be relatively overall cheaper to run, especially in the long term, and they're generally quieter, which is a huge benefit for in the military sector. So. And the biggest benefit of them all is it really benefits and it's easier to run on the planet. So
Absolutely. For the half a million gallons of fuel, I think it's a safe bet to say that it's safer for our planet at the end of the day, right?
agreed.
Have you come across any examples of EVs being used right now in the defense or security industry?
Yes. That's we're seeing a lot happening right now, especially with the operations happening overseas. One recent example was seen in Ukraine, where we saw a member of the Ukrainian army heading out on their Elec Atom
Let me
military.
showcase that. I think we have a picture of that, so let me just bring that up
Yes.
over here.
Yes, so that's what we were seeing pictures of on online. We're seeing a lot more reports also within the Ukrainian army about requests. There's requests from separate divisions, and they're one example was a military captain who requested electric motorbikes for his sniper slash recon team. So the basically the captain of the team explained his team requires the electric bikes to quickly insert into a target area, an operation target area, engage the enemy on a quiet level, and then exfiltrate out before their position is compromised. So this is something we're seeing more and more, is the electrification. And not just that, we're starting to see a lot more in the autonomous side as well,
Okay.
which is a huge thing that's happening. Huge revolution happening in the military sector right now.
Do you feel that we'll be seeing more military or defense EVs in action? Do you feel that there's going to be more of them coming?
Absolutely, that's a great question. I think from our experience last week when we were at CanSec, Rob, I certainly noticed there was a huge increase in terms of the amount of R&D, a lot of prototypes being showcased there as well. So we're seeing a lot more manufacturers trying to overcome certain design challenges during the prototype and R&D phases. So um, it's really exciting to see that evolution starting to roll out, with recent insights from our existing EV customers that we're doing business with. Um, it's cool to see Elasto Proxy being able to team up with our customers and overcome engineering design challenges, such as rubber and plastic material selection for sub-assemblies. Seeing our team also talking about engineering and product assistance, there's huge value in that. So we're seeing a lot right now, in terms of electrification and lean as well, going lean, well converting over to this new system. So
I think it's a good point, Justin. Especially one thing that I think we have to mention here too is that not only in the EV, not only in the military or in the security industry, but anyone that's trying to drive into the EV, trying to electrify their vehicle, there's a massive race going on to kind of be first to market right now because there's a big market share to go and be had, basically, right? So, everyone's talking from lightweight materials. There's fire resistant materials. There's EMI shielding materials. So there's so many things that they have to consider, and then there's prototyping, and like you mentioned too, all the added value services, because some of these companies are in their infancy stage and they're trying to build a purchasing team, they're trying to build an engineering team. So if there's a partner out there that can help them out kind of within all these types of departments, we know with our experience that we have with many years of dealing with mobile equipment, heavy equipment, our experience in the defense industry as well, we have the experience to help these companies overcome some of these challenges that they might be facing. Uh, Justin, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule to join me here today. It was awesome to have you, and I think it was extremely informative. And hope we can see you soon.
hey, thanks for having me on, Rob. It was a pleasure as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.